car was built in April, which means it's not April of 73, which means it's not a 73. I'll show you why. Zach, how are you, sir? So it's about 3:15 on Saturday. I worked at the shop today from 9 to 2. Came to the airport. We're gonna go chase a long hood 911, 1973. What I know about it is it's been on blocks since 1999 with a cover on it. So follow us, it's gonna be cool. So things are still pretty weird about COVID. There's nobody here. It's crazy. We're in North Carolina going to South Carolina. There's nobody here. Now we're gonna get a rental car, so that was a flap. So we're in Charlotte. It's late. We had 3 delays, but we're here and we're gonna drive to South Carolina tomorrow. Unbelievable. What a great day to be alive. The weather's perfect. Boom! Good morning, Zach.
Morning, Dennis.
How are you? Where's Alex?
He's right here.
There he is. How's your run?
It was awesome.
Was it over 1,000 miles?
Yeah.
Any problems?
No.
How's traffic?
Terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
So people are back on the road?
Yeah.
Because the last couple of big trips you did,
There's no one on the road.
Wow.
This one, yeah, everyone's out.
So obviously my confidence level of buying this car is pretty high. We have not bought it yet, but something as rare as this and as expensive as it is, like for Alex to be here, we get it bought, it's on the trailer, it's back to Dallas. So, so we are in Charlotte now, and we need to go to Lancaster.
All right.
So you got the address, right?
Yep.
Let's roll. So he sent one of his guys out here to wave us down because it's hard to find. We go past him and take a right.
You've arrived at your destination.
Big warehouse going behind the warehouse. That is a big warehouse. Wow. Another needle in a haystack, middle of nowhere, something nobody would ever have found. So we got a warehouse find, kind of like a barn find, I guess. It says it's been in the back of it since 1999.
Good to see you. Shane Horton, nice to meet you.
Dennis Collins.
Yes, sir. This is Josh Usher.
Hi, Josh. Dennis. How are you, sir?
It's my right-hand man that said, hey, he's looking for a Porsche. You need to reach out to him.
Really? Well,
He
thank
is,
you.
yeah.
Trying for 6 months to get him that.
Him and my wife been trying to get me to sell that car for a long time, and I just didn't want to sell it. So,
I bet everybody be happy that it's out of the warehouse, probably.
well, he is.
I don't think I'd be nervous if somebody's gonna run into it.
That's right.
This is Alex Bowling. This is my right-hand man.
I hear you. What's going on, Alex? I'm Shane Horton. Nice to meet you. Welcome to Lancaster.
Thank
You
you.
ever been here?
No, sir.
You're on the far end of the county, my friend. So
Beautiful.
it's not too bad.
Beautiful out here.
Not too bad. Let's
Well,
show
I
you.
owe you a finder's fee then if I buy it.
That's right.
We're pretty confident I'm going to buy it. So I'll send Alex all the way out here. If he has to go back empty, he's not going to be happy.
No, he won't like that very well. Come on in.
Okay, so it's been right here.
17 years. Yeah, so I had it for, so my father-in-law had the car in 98.
Okay.
And so he bought it, and he was in West Virginia at the time, and I went and happened to be in town with my wife, and he said, hey, I got this car, I want you to see it. I said, yeah, let's go. So we went outside, it was in the box trailer, and I was like, man, I fell in love with that car. But back then, I had a yellow 300Z, so I was like in my yellow phase, you know? And so I seen the car, loved it, and just had it ever since. So I had it in Myrtle Beach for 2 years in my house down there, and sitting right there.
You're a little
17
big for a
years.
911.
It didn't fit very well. My wife could drive it. And,
Let's see.
check it out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the yellow phase.
Yeah.
Do you know which one
No,
this is
sir,
exactly?
I do not know the exact color. You would have to help me on that.
Okay, so at first walk around this car, Alex, it looks like a 73.
Right.
A regular 73. So let's see if it's got the build date.
You're a car guru as well, I hope.
Okay, so
A little bit.
A little bit.
this car was built in April, which means it's not April of 73, which means it's not a 73. And I'll show you why.
So what does that make it?
Open the deck lid. It makes it a 73 and a half.
73 and a half.
So if it's correct, it'll have a CIS for 73 and a half.
Right.
So what does that mean? CIS means?
So CIS is central injection system, which is all centralized. The 73 cars had MFI, which is mechanical fuel injection, which each cylinder has its own stack and injectors.
Okay.
So what's it got?
It's got a CIS system.
There you go. So that's correct.
So they started this back in January of 73.
Yeah.
So
I'll check the number on the pad, which is going to be hard because it's got AC.
You asked me if it had AC. I wasn't sure. I thought so.
So what we're looking for, what we're hoping is this number starts with a 613. Hoping the motor hasn't been changed. So far it looks correct. It's always tricky to see when you've got the AC.
This is the compressor.
Yep. And here's your condenser.
Okay. All right.
And the belt's still on the AC, which is really unusual. It's rare to ever see a 911 and the belt's still on the compressor.
yeah.
Can't really look. Yes,
Have a
it
good
is.
phone, Alex. Am I helping or hurting?
It almost looks like it's blank.
Yeah, that's good.
That's very odd. So that would mean the two things is probably the case has been changed on the motor.
Any luck down there?
It's got sport seats in it, really neat.
And
Which would have made it even harder for you to drive, Shane.
Yes. And I used to have. Are these a choke?
No, it's part of the heater.
Okay. There's nothing here to do with the choke, man.
No,
All right.
not in the central injection
Okay.
system car. Dash is not cracked. The seats are nice. The tag's still here in the front.
The picture I sent you was
Yeah, right there, the floor number.
there, and I believe Josh had another one somewhere else, but those were the ones we had sent you.
102615.
That's right.
102615. Is it on the A pillar too?
Yep.
Okay.
You think this is original?
Yeah.
Feels a little brittle. I thought it was, but I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
It's original. Let's see what kind of spares it's got. It's got a 5th Fuchs. That's nice. And you said you had the owner's manual. Owner's
I
manual.
do.
kit.
I got them. I want you to look at them.
All right, let's check that out.
Yes, sir. Come this way.
Great car. Either the number on the motor is lightly stamped or it's had the case replaced. Not the end of the world, but
So basically, both of these books are from that car.
okay.
Reason being, it has the matching name of the gentleman that owned it at one time. So that matches, which leads me to believe it was the same. And then some of these maintenance records have that serial number on it.
Okay. You know, what would be nice is to see if it had that motor was still under warranty.
That looks like he had a crash with it. It's was it a 956?
356.
356, yeah. A little bump up on the racetrack, it looks
Porsche.
like.
So he was a big Porsche guy.
So that was not my father-in-law. That was
Okay.
the gentleman prior to him. This is the guy that he bought it from through Weldon.
Okay.
Yeah. Best of my knowledge. The name seems to keep coming up.
Weber conversion. So he was a lot of people consider taking the CIS off and put Webers on them.
Okay.
Because they want to go back to old school.
I was going to say Webers are carburetors though, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't. Mission control system. I've never seen one of these. That book.
You remember it or have never?
I've never seen one of
Okay.
those. So that's really neat.
I wanted to bring you from Texas, show you something special.
That's cool. Did this come with the car too?
All right, so no, these are a 914 and a 9.
See, this is
40.
that's what I'm looking for this car.
This particular car looks like it was in Texas at the Air Force
Dallas.
Base at one time.
Oh, sure was.
Don't know where this car is. I've sold some of them years and years ago. I just wanted you to see those, and
Flip through these real quick so you can see the engine.
if you have any interest
Very
in
cool.
that. If not, it's not related to the car we're talking about.
I tell you what I am interested is you showed me a picture of some service manuals.
Got a bunch of
I've got
manuals I
those.
want to show you.
Let's check those
Yes,
out.
sir.
So all this goes with that car. All right.
All right.
Very
so
cool.
These are the two manuals. So Roger had all these manuals. I just knew they'd be worth something one day. I went ahead and put them inside. They'd leave them outside. You feel free to flip through them.
So Alex has learned a lot on Porsches the last 2 years.
Is he getting educated?
Absolutely.
I hear you.
We're doing our own engine outs now.
That's good.
That's really nice.
I love them. I just don't fit in them very well.
Same can be said about Corvettes and Camaros, though.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 911 manuals.
Yes.
Actually, are these?
I think those are
Those are
914.
914s.
Look at that, 914.6 manual.
All right, so that was Roger's thing. He loved everything 914.6. So the other items I mentioned you, I guess everything's interchangeable between the two cars?
Yeah,
that was
engine-wise,
his
yes.
mindset. He loved
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, that's 914.6s are crazy rare. We do a lot of Porsches during the year, and we rarely. As a matter of fact, as long as you've been working for me, we haven't had a 914.6.
You haven't?
I've had some, but he
Yeah.
hasn't seen one yet.
He had one that was really souped up, had a wide body kit on it, and this was back when Catherine and I were dating, and he took me to ride in that car. So we're going around this curvy road, and he starts getting like loose. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, if you don't want me to marry, I get it. You just stop the car, I'm out. He was scaring me to death. He was sliding and slinging, but that was a cool car. He called it the purple Gator.
914.6s are hairy to drive.
He had gold rims on it. Like, I know they're not inky rims, but they were gold.
BBS.
That's right.
It sounds like what you were in was a GT 914.6,
It was nice.
which is crazy expensive these days. This is cool stuff. Any idea what you want for these manuals?
I'm thinking 3 for the lot.
3 what?
Grand.
I'd ask.
You help me. You help me.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Honestly, I don't know. That was my little bit of research, but I'm willing to negotiate. So don't.
Here's
get carried away.
the issue with them, and I'm not out to steal anything.
I understand.
The stuff's all on CD now.
Sure.
Like everything that Alex and Josh does, I'll bring them a book. They won't look at the book.
No, I get that.
They pull-
That's nostalgia. That's not really. You don't want to deal with
This is
it.
very cool nostalgia. It is.
What's your number?
$1,000.
I mean,
Okay.
it's all good.
I
Came a
honestly
long
think
way.
that's what they're worth. These are super cool. I'm glad you showed them to me.
Yes, sir.
Wow. And one of these days, Alex, 944s will be worth working on.
Yep.
That's not today, is it?
We've had no, not really.
not
We've
right
had a
now.
couple
A
really
couple,
short
yeah.
mile ones. You know, if it really low mileage, we'll do, but it's just not worth. putting
What?
the time
Why is
into.
that car that way? Nobody loves them. What was the problem?
Well, look at it sitting next to a
About the
911.
There's no class to it
Is it
compared to.
ugly?
Yeah.
Ugly.
I agree.
Front engine car, which is odd for a Porsche.
Correct.
It's just kind of counterintuitive to what a
That's right.
Porsche is.
Yeah.
Let's go look at the 911 one more
Let's
time.
go. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. It being a non-numbers matching car really hurts it,
Okay.
but the car is much nicer than I anticipated it being.
Good.
So I'm going to pay you what we agreed to on the phone.
Sounds good to me.
I'm not going to beat you up over
I
it,
appreciate it.
but it does make a difference.
I often thought it showed better than it did in the picture, and I really wanted you to see it.
It's a nice car. It really is. The car is better than I anticipated, and the number may just be light, but I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Cool car.
Now,
Very,
would you
very
pull-
cool.
when you-
What a beautiful car. I'll tell you what, this beats being in the office. So the way I initially got this car is Shane watches our social media, which is cool because he's kind of a Jeep fan. And his guys are a Jeep fan. His right-hand man went in and said, hey, and the guy that runs his warehouse said, you need to get rid of that car because they're kind of tired of being in the warehouse. It makes them nervous. I said, Dennis, this guy will buy it. He said, well, Shane watched what I said. And he said, well, but he's only looking for a 72. Because I'm putting out there saying I need a 72 for my collection, which I still do, guys. Help me find a 72 911. He said, well, I don't have a 72, I have a 73. So he sent me pictures of the car, and the car does look like a 73. But what somebody did was they took a 73 and a half and backdated it. I'll walk around and show you a few other things they changed. That doesn't hurt the car because the stuff that they took off of it was ugly. I showed you how to tell what this is by looking at the motor being 73 and a half and the dates, but by looking at the car we're standing here, it looks like a 73 because they took the overriders off. Those big nasty overriders.
Yeah.
And they changed the bumper, they changed the deco trim, so this car has been backdated from 73 and a half to look like a 73.
So what was that you told me? What did they change? The actual bumpers?
The
or
bumper, this deco trim, and then they had massive ugly overriders on here.
1 and 2?
Here. It'll be interesting to see if these sports seats were in this car from the factory. So those are very rare. And a lot of time when you got sports seats, they only had a driver's seat because you had to check 2 boxes to get them both.
Really?
Yeah. The guy came in, I want sport seats. Well, a lot of times the dealership ordered his
He
car.
would
wouldn't
not
have.
check the second box?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd have one. So for this car to have two in it, really cool.
Gotcha.
But he was such a Porsche guy, he may have put him in there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know he loved Porsche.
All right, let's go get your pay,
Let's
get
go.
the title, and
Come on in now.
you think we got a bunch of guys here might help us if the brakes are locked
I
up.
promise we got some help. There
Deal.
you go. Thank you,
you.
man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, now this car is actually going in my collection.
I was actually excited about that.
All I need, and I appreciate the lead from you.
Yes.
Because you watched this, I was looking for a 72. I'm glad you called, because I wasn't looking for a 73, but when I figured out what you had, it was a
Yeah.
73 and a half. I'm like, I don't have a 73 and a half.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I didn't put that out there.
Well,
so.
that's how the story goes. He's tried to get me to do it once or twice through the years, and the other day he said, listen, I know you don't want to hear this.
So I put it out there. I always pay finder's fees. I always pay them every time. So when you guys send your lead to social@cbjeep.com, you get the finder's fee if I buy it. And there's your finder's fee, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yep, I wouldn't have got the car without you. Well, let's go see.
Let's do it.
Let's go see how stuck it is. So the deal's done. It's empty. I'm not gonna tell you what we paid for it because I just don't think it's right. Killer books and records, unbelievable. Hopefully in here we'll solve the mystery of the engine. But really, hopefully the numbers on the motor, we'll see. Now, the car's been sitting for somewhere between 17 and 21 years. Usually when they sit this on, the brakes are locked up. So let's see if we get lucky or not. Look at the kids bringing the books.
Back seat, don't drop them. I'll set them in here, and you guys go get the rest of them. Thank you.
I'm gonna make y'all a deal, okay? I'm gonna pay y'all for carrying these books out. But what you gotta do with the money is you have to buy a Christmas present for your brother or your sister, okay? So whatever I give you, you can't spend it on yourself. You have to spend it on your brother or sister. Is that a deal?
I think that's a good deal.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Here.
Which way are you want to back it on or pull it on?
Pull it on.
Okay, so we'll go up and then back
1,
up.
2, 3, go. Hey, look, it rolls.
It's not liking it, but it is rolling.
Yeah, I hear it.
All right, I love it. First time light a day in
17 years.
17 years.
Okay. Well, it didn't see much like the first two after before that either.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming in
You're
on
welcome.
Sunday.
Thank you very much.
And I also for being such a great caretaker of that.
Yes, sir.
It's a
Yes, sir.
great shit. And thank you, sir, for finding it. You're welcome. I appreciate it. So now find me a 72.
I'll try to.
We're gonna work on that, aren't we? We're gonna find a 72.
I tell you what, I just about beat that horse to death.
I
And
might not find it, then.
And I can find anything. No, they're out there.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily rare. We just hadn't found one.
Just ain't found it.
All right, well, I'm going
Well,
to
good
Dallas
luck.
and
Nice meeting you.
safe travels, Alex.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. Nice meeting you too.
Absolutely.
All right, man.
Thank you.
See you. Have a good
Can
one.
I-
Thank y'all.